Joe Tippmann, the rookie out of Wisconsin, a big-time bright spot for this team, and he's going to be part of this line for a long time. Started the year at right guard, now he's taken over at center. 458 offensive snaps in all. Let's break it down. Let's go back to the Chargers game.
Yeah, let's dive into the Microsoft Surface here and check out our man in the middle. So what we're looking at is pass play here, and this is a four-man rush. And typically when you have a four-man rush, you're going to get some sort of game, right? Because that creates pass rush. So what they're going to do here is they're going to run a T, right? And so what the big thing I like on this is Joe keeps square. And that allows him to accept the penetrating tackle and get the clean block, all right? And so we'll go to the next one. All right, so we're back to four-man rush, another pass play. In this one, as you see here, Joe's just coming in, and look how square he is, right? And look at this pocket. This is a nice pocket here, right? Giving room for the quarterback to work. And what I like about Joe here is his knees. He's bending his knees. He keeps his hands inside and really anchors down. That's huge for an offensive line.
What's he looking at pre-snap there, Nick, if we go back to the beginning of the play? Because there's not a defensive tackle aligning over him.
Right, so what you have here is two wide, three techniques, right? And you think that they're going to stay there, but it allows them to have the opportunity, these defensive tackles, if they see something, they can come inside a little bit as well. So right here, he's thinking he's a helping man, right? Because there's no direct threat right around him. So he knows he's got help. What you're looking for from Joe Tippmann is he's got this whole area over here. Like this is his zone. And so that's what he's looking at, allows him to pick up the guy stunting in on him very easily. And he does it with his technique and dropping his hips, locking him up.
All right, let's go back to the Black Friday game. The Jets playing the Miami Dolphins in front of the nation. Tippmann again stood out in your eyes.
Yeah, he did. And so we're going to go to a run play here. And this is Bart's bread and butter. He's been asking for it. A little duo play, double teams, right? So you see here, we have a double team towards the backside and a double team towards the front side. And that creates the lanes. They come off, and this guy here on the backside linebacker, he fires his gun early, right? He sees the hole, sees the handoff happening. So that takes Tippmann off his block sooner rather than later. And he shows a little color. Flashes, right? Didn't miss the block, but it flashes. That bounces Breece Hall out, but that's the best part about this play. It has different lanes, right? Breece puts his foot in the ground and fires off 4-yard vertical run. You know, that's a positive play.
Can we take it back to what the linebacker's looking at there, Bart, as far as Tippmann is concerned? Because I want to look at it from the opposite lens. Why is he such a challenge to go against?
Well, it's gap integrity, right? Because this linebacker sees that, the lineman is engaged, so he's believing that I have an easy run through and I can make a tackle from behind the line of scrimmage, not knowing that the center has his eyes on him and sees him in his peripheral, comes off, and then that creates a split. Now, what I would like to see and what makes it a little bit more difficult for us as linebackers, if they get a little bit more movement, right, first, right? Because he's the helper. But the guard has to be thicker and drive because he can take his shot, because if he misses, he has Tippmann in the inside, or if the guy stunts away. That way, if you get some movement, now when he comes off, Breece has a hole in between him right there. No, what the linebackers are doing is just gapping out, right? They're running to their gaps. And Breece jump cuts, tremendous job, because he saw a seal from Rucker. So he says, okay, I can go this way. But, if they would have got a little bit more movement, and they could have got up, that could have been out the gate.
How much does Tippmann's height and reach help him? Because he's 6'6" at that center position.
It helps him with his leverage, right? And I think that the best part that he has going for him is he bends his knees. He doesn't bend his hips, right? So when you bend your knees and you create that leverage, you get lower. He's got that kind of force that will really help him out. I think that's a big advantage for him.
Let's dial up that next play.
Now we're getting into the pass plays. And this is a good one I like because it shows his versatility again. This backside hand, right? That's his feeler hand. He's accepting a defensive tackle if he comes that way. And it allows his eyes to be to the right, but he still has presence to his left, and that's huge. So here, as the slide happens, defensive tackle comes in, Joe Tippmann engages, drops those hips, and really pushes out. And so for an offensive lineman, that's great as a center, because what it does is it creates a nice solid pocket to allow the quarterback to do work. Because he has that leverage, he has his hands inside, he's able to drop his hips and expand the pocket. It's a beautiful play.
Where do you like him best? Now that he's in center position, he played most of his snaps, of course, at Wisconsin at center, but he showed he could play right guard as well.
Yeah, I've always preferred him at center because I think he's exceptional and I think he's different, right? When you're a defensive lineman or a linebacker, you don't go against that type of center every time. So I think it's certain advantages to being able to be that and do that. And the fact that he's so athletic that he can pull and get himself out on the edges is an added advantage because he's not some short, stubby guy. He can move in his stride length. He can get to the edges, pull around the corners whenever you have like one of those rush fronts where the center's uncovered. Or some of the times when he has a guy and he can get a back block from his guard and pull out and add to the run. He essentially becomes a fullback or a leading guy, and I believe that if he gets out there, he can run stride for a little bit with these running backs because he's so athletic.
Wow, this is a great point. You bring up athleticism. Let us take you to the tape. All right, so here, we're back to another pass play, but this is going to be a screen, right? So you set it up, it's a dummy set, just get everyone going. His vision is on this linebacker, right? It looks like man-to-man coverage, so knowing the running back's on this left side, he's got to get out. Now, what I love about this, and we're talking about the athleticism, his timing is perfect, but he's squaring up. He's squaring up the defender, so that allows the defender to choose his side. When you're out in the middle of space, once the defender chooses his side, allows the running back to be a punt returner, and he just plays off of him. You don't have to try to push him, you don't have to go anywhere. So, Dalvin Cook sees this, takes it inside, and it's a great screenplay against a good pass rush, slows him down, and his athleticism allowed that to happen.
Well, you see the patience, right, and understanding the timing. The timing is so key. If you're out there too fast, the linebacker has space between you and the running back. He can run around you and then flatten out because he's faster than you and a little bit more athletic. I know if I put a hand on you and a body on a body, you can't make the tackle. You're not going to just put your arm out there and get a guy like Dalvin Cook or Breece Hall. So my job is to get in the way, and that was pretty much what we call like a one-man screen, right? They didn't get the entire line where everybody goes back, so it's harder to see, right? Because he was the only one coming out, and we always know, like as smart linebackers, running back and center go the same direction, alert screen. They go opposite. That's how usually protections work.
I think Joe Tippmann is a guy who might have been able to play in your days because he's off to a great start in the National Football League.